Hello, let's do the New York Times Hard Sudoku for September 3rd, 2023. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started now. All right, how do we want to get started? We have these two ones that look into box one, so there's a one in one of these two. No more duplicated ones, but we do have this pattern. So what I'm looking for with this is I'm looking at the two columns they don't touch and the one row that they don't touch. And I'm looking for repeated digits between the row and one of the columns. So we're gonna try that for all of these. So we found the 4. The 1 is not repeated, but the 4 is repeated. So what that tells us is we just look at these 4s. This 4 looks in, this 4 looks in, and that tells us, and of course these two aren't 4. That's another important aspect, is the 4 is not already in the box. But that means that in this box, 4 can only be in one of these two cells. And so we can corner mark that. And that does what's called pointing. So with pointing, basically this box needs the 4 to be in its, let me put it this way. Box 2 needs the 4 that column 6 provides. Column 6 has exactly one 4 in it, right? And box 2 has exactly one 4 in it, and box 2 needs to get it from column 6, which means the rest of column 6 and other boxes aren't allowed to be 4. So for example, you might think that this cell could be 4. There's no reason from trivial Sudoku rules that it shouldn't be able to be 4. But if we look at the effect it has on box 2, we now have nowhere to put 4. This 4 looks up, this 4 looks up, this 4 looks in. These two aren't 4. We're not going to be able to give box 2 a 4 anymore. So what that means is none of these are allowed to be 4. Now we already knew that these 3 couldn't because of this 4, but we didn't really know that these 2 couldn't. So we can mark these 2 as being the only 2 places 4 can go in this box. So that's how pointing can be extremely useful. And this corner marking technique can be used to remind you that these can't be 4, rather than having to pencil them and exclude 4. So there we go. Okay. So I think that was it for those, but we also have this. So we want to look at these 2 rows, and we want to look at this column. Unfortunately, this column's empty, so I probably could have seen that, but just figured I'd mention it. Okay, I think that's all we're going to find in the top band, so we're going to look at the next band next. First thing we do is look for repeated digits. So these 2 9s look into this box, so there's a 9 in one of these 2. Okay, so I think that's all I'm seeing in terms of repeated digits. Now what we want to do is we want to look for patterns like this, right? So we have this here. So we want to look at the 2 columns that they don't touch and the 1 row they don't touch. We're looking for, okay, and we have the 6. The 6 repeats. So we look at this 6 and we look at this 6. And actually in this case, none of these are 6. 6 can be placed in the box. It's the only place in the box for a 6, so it goes there. Now we want to follow up on that 6, rescan the rows. 6 goes somewhere up here. We'll mark that. And now we also have this that just came up. So these 2 are now, we can look at these 2 columns and this same row. The 6 is already placed, the 9 and the 1. There's no other repeats, so we can't find anything there. But in general, now that we have this block of 4 used up, where we kind of get this L-shaped, or sometimes, it could be dispersed such that you end up with like a cross in the middle instead of an L shape. But anyway, with this L shape, all we want to do is we want to look for anything in this row or this column that isn't already placed in the box. So we've got 6 and 9 only, unfortunately, and they are already placed. So, but if we did find something that wasn't placed, then we could create pointing that way too. So, all right, so I think that's all we're finding with that right now. Although there are only 4 digits left here, because of what I found with these rows and columns, it's going to be literally all 4 possibilities. So we can think about what they are just to make sure we didn't make a mistake. Well, I guess this 4 season. So I guess it's going to be unexciting versions of limited possibilities would be a better way to put that. But the digits we need are 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, and 7. Okay, so this one's interesting to me just because it sees the 4 and 5. So this can only be 2 or 7. And this one sees 4, so this is 2, 5, and 7. I will mark that. And this one sees 5, so that's 2, 4, and 7. I think this can be all of them, 2, 4, 5, 7. All right, so I did end up marking this up a bit, but you can see we didn't get like a triple or, pointing or anything like that out of it. All right, I'm going to move on to the next band here. So first we look for repeated digits. Those are the easiest thing to see. We just mark that up so that we have some info about the grid. Any other repeated digits here? The sixes are repeated. So we have sixes down here. So the 3, yeah, that's all that repeats. Okay, so now we're going to look at stuff like this. So we're going to look at these rows, and we're going to look at this column for the 6 and the 3. We see that the 5 repeats, and we also see that the 2 repeats. We'll do them one at a time. So we'll start with the, let's start with the 5, why not? And so that puts a 5 in one of these two. And then we also had the 2 repeating. So we look at just how the 2's affect the box. And yeah, okay. So, oh, the reason, did I highlight the wrong column? Is that what happened? I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, 2 is limited to 2 places in this box, but that's not what I intended to find. I think I meant to highlight that column is what happened. It's just this column was much more interesting. 2 is still limited to these 2, but it's obviously not pointing. Okay, and then we also have this 6, 3. So we'll highlight those, and then this column. Oh, I did the 6, 3. We have the 6, 8. So we'll highlight these 2 in this row. So here we got the 5 already. The 3 we don't know about over here. So, oh, the 3's already in the box anyway. Okay, so nothing more to find there. We have the 2 and the 3. We're going to look here. And again, you can just visually scan this. I'm just showing it directly so that you see exactly what I'm looking at. But it should be much faster to scan this sort of thing if you just sort of glance and see if you see repeated digits, right? You just have to know what to look for. Highlighting it, there's no problem with highlighting it, of course. Now, this is the same pattern, even though they're spread apart. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. So what we want to do is we want to look at this row that they miss, and we want to look at the 2 columns that they miss. And 2 and 8 are repeated, so we have the 8. So this 8 looks down, this 8 looks in, and we end up with 8s here. And that's always gonna, as long as you're scanning the right stuff and it's not already in the box, that's always gonna give you pointing. So these point up, this 8 points up, this 8, this 8 looks up, this 8 looks in. There's an 8 in one of those too. Okay. I'm curious about 8s. Yeah, 8s in this box are here. 8s are quite limited, but I don't know if we can actually do anything with them right now. Okay. So I have finished scanning horizontally. So now I just do the exact same thing, but vertically. But we don't have to look for the box patterns again, because we already looked for them. But we do want to look for repeats. So we have the 5s repeating, we have the 2 6s repeating, 6s are up here. So really, it's much faster to scan vertically because you're just looking for repeats. I just try to make sure I don't miss any, even though I constantly miss them anyway. That's why I try to look harder. Okay, so I have remember we limited the 8s here, and that was because of this pattern. But now these 2 1s look down and much more simply limit the 1s to one of these 2. And now that we have corner marks that exactly overlap each other, and not only do they exactly overlap, the number of corner marks overlapping, so the number of digits involved is the same as the number of cells involved, right? We have 2 digits, 1 and 8. We have 2 cells here and here. And so if those exactly match and they exactly overlap, they have to exactly overlap, then you get a hidden pair. So what I can do is I can convert these 2 corner marks to center marks. Because we need to fit 1 and 8 in this box somewhere. The box needs a 1 and it needs an 8. That's the rules of Sudoku. So if it needs a 1, the 1 has to be in one of these 2. And if it needs an 8, the 8 has to be in one of these 2. It can't go anywhere else. And so the question becomes, if I were to put anything other than a 1 or an 8 here, let's say 7. I think it looks like 7 should be possible. But if I put a 7 here, sure, this cell could be a 1 or an 8. Let's put the 1 there. Where's the 8 go? The answer is nowhere. The 8 can't go anywhere. It's always going to conflict with one of these 8s. And so we can't put a 7 there because it breaks. And you say, oh, we'll put the 8 there. Well, now we have the exact same problem with 1. 1's going to conflict with one of these 2. So we can't do that. I'm going to undo all the way back in case I mess something up. So that we get this 1, 8. Can't be anything else. And that is going to be is that going to be interesting anywhere? Not yet. It might be interesting for the rest of the box in terms of how it limits. Yes, it is interesting. So we have this 9 that now looks into this box, and we know these can't be 9 anymore because they have to be the 1 and the 8. And so now that places 9 in the box here. which then we've used, we remember this, there was a 3 corner mark here. We used up that 3 corner mark by placing a 9 there. And so now what we want to do is look at where the 3 corner marks remain in the box. There's only 1 left. That means we can place this 3. This 9 also removed one of our 9 corner marks, but we still have 2 places for it, so we can't place it yet. But I am noticing a significant amount of overlap between the 4, 6s, and 9s, but notice that they involve 4 cells. So it's 3 digits for 4 cells. So this is not any kind of hidden triple or quad or anything yet. But it does make me think about these 3 cells that don't have corner marks. But I'm going to follow up on the digits we got first. But that might be a place to look, for example, is these 3 cells. Okay, so 9's looking up, 9's looking in. So 9's in one of these 2, not both. Okay, we got the 9, we got the 3. Okay, so 3 is up here somewhere. And note that this is also not a hidden pair because this 3 can hide here, right? If I put, say, a 7 here, I can still do 8 and 3, no problem, because the 3 has an escape hatch. So we'd have to remove this possibility before we could do the hidden pair. And I don't even know if that's what's going to happen because I don't know the solution, obviously. So this is a pair now. That might be helpful, actually. It's just the 2 digits remaining in the box, a 2 and a 7. And this 7 actually does look in, telling us that this is a 2 and this is a 7. That 2 looked in. That removed a 2 corner mark. We look in the box. There is only 1 place for 2 in the box now. We put that there. That used up a 5 corner mark. Now there's only 1 place for 5 in the box. That's what's nice about these corner marks. We just instantly get those hidden singles. There's actually a lot of things nice about those corner marks. Anyway, let's follow up on this 2. It looks up, puts a 2 in one of these 2. It does look left. We have all of our 2s already. This 5 looks up, but we have all our 5s. It looks right. Sorry, when I said left, I meant right for this 2. I seem to remember saying the wrong word. This 5 looks in. So I'm very interested in this cell now because it can't be any of these corner mark digits. And now we know it can't be a 5, which needs to be in the box. It can't be an 8, which needs to be in the box. So what can it actually be? It can be a 1. It can't be 2, 3. Surprise. Oh, it can't be 4 because of the corner mark. It can't be 5, 6. I think it could be 7, actually. In fact, 7's in one of these 2 now that I'm looking at it. It can't be 8 or 9. So it's 1 or 7. So I was right about it being limited, but I was kind of hoping it would be a naked single. Looking for naked singles in this area. All right, we need a 1, a 4, and a 9 in here. All right, we know the 9's down here. If the 9's down here, oh, that's actually good. Right, so in this box, where does 9 go? It's here or here. Wherever we end up placing it, this is pointing, but here's another way of explaining pointing. If I place it here, this can't be a 9. The only other option is I place it here, this still can't be a 9, right? The 9 is used up by box 7 in row 9. And so this 9 corner mark is actually untrue. The 9 can't go here or it would break this box. So now we have only 1 place for 9 in the box and that goes there. I'm scanning the 9s to see if they do anything. I am noticing there's only 3 digits left in this row, so I'm just going to mark that up. We need a 1 and an 8. I'm looking at what the other digit we need is. 5, it looks like. So I noticed this sees the 1 and the 8, so I can just immediately place the 5, and then this is down to 1 or 8. We just placed this 5. We should follow up on that. I'm not seeing anything immediate to do with the 5. Seems like 1 is... Okay, so... This cell should just be 4 and 7. Yeah, because we have 1, 4, 7 left for the row, and it sees a 1. So this is just 4, 7. I think that... Actually, this can't be... Oh, wait, 8 in... Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. 8 in this box is in 2 places. So if we corner mark that, that makes it more clear that this can only be 1, 4, 6. Actually, only 4 or 6 because it sees the 1. So this can't be 1, 2, 3. Could be 4. It can't be 5. Sees 6. Sees 7, 8, and 9. One of those 9s, whichever one you feel like. I'm seeing 8 in this row. That's what I'm... Oh no, it's one of these 2. Never mind, I'm not seeing 8 in this row. Darn, okay. Okay, I've just got a bunch of stuff, and it's all kind of clustered down here, so I'm going to look at the effect that that had on the rest of the grid. This column has 3 left. I'm going to pencil that. So we have 1, 2, 3. We need 4, 5, and 6. So we know this one can't be 6. So it's only 4, 5. So the 6 is up here. Okay, we kind of already knew that from these 6s looking up. Okay, I need a drink of water here. Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is looking for, I think I followed up on all of the place digits. Hopefully I did. We'll find it eventually if I didn't. But I'm going to be looking for restricted cells. But restricted cells are like these ones where they're down to like up to 3 candidates left. I'm just going to pencil them because sometimes there's just pairs and triples just hiding in the grid that you just kind of have to pencil until you find them. I don't have, for hidden stuff, hidden pairs, hidden triples, I've got strategies that I can use to find those. And actually I should try to look for those real quick. But nakeds, I don't really have a good strategy for you other than just keep looking for restricted cells. I have strategies for identifying what cells might be restricted. That works probably 90% of the time in finding the good ones. But I don't really have a strategy to be like, oh, clearly this, and this are a 257 triple. Like obviously they aren't, but you know what I mean, right? Like just 3 random cells that just happen to make a triple that finish the puzzle. You just gotta pencil. As far as I know, you just gotta pencil to find those. But you can target which cells you do pencil. So sorry for that little lecture there. If you're not interested in that, you just want to see progress on the puzzle. But I figured I'd pause for a second and talk about that. I do want to look for hiddens though. I'm interested in this 1-8 in this box. It's almost a hidden pair. Yeah, the 5 joins it. There we go. So I saw this 1 and 8, right? This is what I did because this is actually important. This is something that, I don't know, you just got to get used to scanning the grid, but which I don't claim to be an expert at that. There are people who are much better at Sudoku than I am, but I feel like my strategies that I deploy here can help you improve your ability to solve these. Anyway, I saw that these 1-8s just happened to group up, and like it was convenient to see that they grouped up and looked into this box. We know that 4 is not 1-8, and we also verified that 1 and 8 aren't already in the box. And then I looked at the rest of the row in the column, and I saw that 5 also repeated. And and 5 is also already not placed in the box. So we need a 1, 8, and 5 in box 5. Right? Box 5 still needs a 1, 8, and 5. And with the cells that I've highlighted in box 5, you can see that these 3 cells are the only cells that actually can accommodate a 1, 8, or 5. None of these other cells, like even if I use my conflict checker here, 1, 5, 8, look, they're all red, right? Because they all see a 1, 5, and 8. But I need to put a 1, 5, and 8 in this box, and so they have to go here. I can't put anything else here. I must put a 1, 5, 8 here. I don't know exactly where they go. They could change among themselves, but I can't, for example, put a 2 here. If I put a 2 here, I have broken this box because it's going to be missing one of the 1, 5, 8s, guaranteed. Okay, so that's a hidden triple. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. That's actually the hardest kind of hidden triple to find, in my opinion. There might be one that's slightly harder, which is like randomly in the column you end up with one, but that's not an easy one to find, so I'm pretty happy about that find. That might be helpful. I'm going to think about what the remaining cells are in this box now that they can't be here, because we know where the 1, 4, 5, 8, 9 go in this box generally. So the remaining cells need to be 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 6, and 7. And I'm just scanning to see, for example, this sees 2 and 3. So if that sees 2 and 3, then it's down to 6, 7. I'm looking for any other 2, 3, 6, 7s that might be interesting, and actually not finding anything. Okay, but this 6, 7 might be helpful. We know it's not 1, 5, or 8. Okay, so here's something else we can talk about. This column now needs a 1 and an 8. Where do we put them? Well, this 1, 8 takes them out of here. We just saw that this sees a 1, 8. And these aren't 1 or 8. So there's only 2 places left for 1, 8. So we just found a hidden pair in the column. So this can't actually be 5. And so that limits 5 to one of these 2. So that actually points at the rest of its column. We already have a 5 down here. So this 5 looks up, this 5 looks in, and that actually places 5 in this box. The 5 in this box has to be in one of these 2. And so it can't be up here. This 5 sees here, this 5 sees here. These are not 5. So 5 goes there. Hopefully that's understandable. I know I'm going a little bit slow today, but hopefully I'm getting feedback that you most of you like that. So I'm trying to continue to be instructive on every step and everything that I'm looking at, even if it ends up not finding something. All right, so I end up with a 6-7 pair and this 1-8 pair. What effect did placing this 5 have? That's something to ask. So these 5s look in. This 5 looks up. So I guess it means we have 5 in one of these two. Don't know which. It feels like the stuff I found around here was really important, but I'm having a little trouble doing more follow-ups on it. Did this get affected by... Let's actually just pencil this. It can be 1, it can't be 2, 3. Let's see, the box needs a 1, a 4. Oh, but this can't be 4. We have the 4's cornered here and here. It needs a 5. It needs a 6. We definitely could be 6 because it's cornered there. We need 7 and 8. Oh, this can't be 7. Right, the 7s are cornered here. And that can't be... Okay, so down to 1, 6, 8. We have a lot of these like 1-8 cells that have like are either by themselves or have one other digit in them, and that's indicative to me that we might find a triple if we keep looking. It's just like instinct more than something I can prove, other than just looking and finding it. There's probably something simpler that I just have failed to notice, which is on brand for me. This puzzle has felt a little bit harder than usual, I will say. I found some interesting things, and usually that amount of interesting things I found usually would crack the puzzle a bit. I'm going to think about, let's see, what's our most restricted? It feels like this box might be restricted, but I'm not 100% sure about that. What does it need? It needs a 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. We know about the 4 already. This can't be 2. Okay, maybe not. This cell's avoiding the 6 corner mark, so it's down to 3. I think we said it was, let's see, it's not 1, but it's 2, 3, and then 6, and not the 6. 2, 3, 6, 7 is what's left up here. Fours. Okay, I was going to look for stuff. I was going to look for hiddens and columns. So we have this 2. So this is the kind of strategy that I'm going to use here, which is looking at givens in a box and how they avoid an entire row or column. So in this case, the 2, 5, 4 completely avoid this column. So what you want to think about is, where do 2, 5, and 4 go in this column? Well, we know where the 5 goes. It's there. And so we're down to 2 and 4 that need to be placed in the column. Unfortunately, there are 3 places they can go. Now, what I'm quickly scanning for is whether there's either any of these that can't be 2, 4, just by coincidence, but that's not the case here. Like this 5, 6 avoids this column. We already have the 6s marked up here. We already have a 5 in the column. But that's what I'm quickly trying to scan for. I'm not going to mention every single one, but if I find something, I will definitely tell you, of course. But I'm just sort of glancing at each of these formations to see if I missed anything. 1, 8, 6, 9. We already have the 6 and 9, unfortunately. Okay, I didn't see anything. Doesn't mean there isn't anything, but I didn't see it. Okay, we're back to looking for restricted cells then. This is another kind of restricted cell where you notice that the column has 2, 4, 5, 7, and the row has 3, 6, 9. Like, I didn't repeat anything there. This sees a lot of digits. It sees, and it oh, the 5's repeated. But anyway, so we just want to think about what it can be. It can be a 1. It can't be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It can be 8. It can't be 9. And there's our pair. Actually, I was going to say there's our triple, but actually this is a pair. Let's just double check. It can't be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 9. Yeah, so that's a 1-8 pair. And that's what I was talking about. You just got to sort of look for restricted cells, and then you'll find your pairs here. So that's a 5. And okay, let me explain naked pairs, because I haven't yet in this solve at least. If you have two cells that you've limited to the same two digits, that's called a pair. And that affects whatever row, column, or box that they both occupy. Sometimes it can affect like the row and the box, for example. Excuse me. In this case, it's just the row. So that means that none of these can be 1 or 8. Let me demonstrate. If this was a 1, you can immediately see that these now both have to be 8, right? I think this is probably the easiest one to understand. You see that 1 and 8 go here, so they can't go anywhere else, right? So this is a 5 because it can't be 1 or 8. That gives us this 4. We have a 1-8 pair in this box now, but we kind of already knew about the 1-5-8, so I don't think that's going to do anything. What's this 5? Oh, this 4 is what's interesting. Gives us the 6. Okay, the 6 used up its own corner mark. The 5 used up its own corner mark. This gives us a 7. This 6 corner mark's gone, so this is a 6 that used up an 8, so the 8 goes there. This 7 looks down. Okay, I think we might be closing up. Closing up shop here. All right, that 8's gone. That's an 8, which is good because this is a very long video. This is 2, 3, 7. I really hope that it's instructive for you guys, though. That's my goal. Some amount of entertainment and some amount of instruction. I've tried to find a balance there. I find that myself that I'm a bit more instructive than entertaining, but hopefully you get both. Let's see. It kind of fizzled out. Let's see. I'm going to look at everything we just got, if I can remember. This box, we got the 6, we got the 8. So these 8s now join up. This 8 looks over. So 8 is in one of these two. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to keep looking at rows, columns, boxes that have very few open cells left. So this needs 149, and then we're also missing something else. I'm just seeing the 149 down there. And I have to find the 7. Okay, so 7 is definitely one of these two. So these are 149, 7. This sees 4 and 9, so it's only 1, 7. This sees 1, so it's 4, 7, 9. Huh. Okay. These 4, we need 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to start marking 2, 3, 4, and 6. I really think we're at the point in the puzzle where just marking up will finish. Like that last thing we found with this 1, 8. Yeah, this is down to 2, 7. We can mark that. I really think we're just going to find like a naked single somewhere, or maybe like one more like easy pair or something like that. But I don't see how this puzzle's holding on. This is, oh yeah, here we go. This is just a triple. So we can get a couple interesting deductions from this triple. I'm not sure if we need all of them, but the first deduction is we have this 2, 3, 7 triple in the row. So these can't be 2, 3, or 7. They're down to 4 or 9 only for the row, and this can't be 4. So this is the 9. This is the 4. And that gives us the 7 in the box. It gives us this 1 and 9 and 4 and 2. All right. And so what I was going to say, which the 7 just gave us for free, is that in this 2, 3, oh no, sorry. We can still use it. I'll use it right now before we can't. In this 2, 3, 7 triple, where's the 3? Well, the 3 is only in these two. So if I put a 3 in here, then these will all be 2, 7, and I won't have a 3 in the row. So this can't be a 3, and it can't be a 7. So this is a 2. Very nice. All right. I just wanted to mention that before it went away. There was obviously more things we could have done that were easier, but there we go. We get all of these. I think we're finishing now. Just got to follow my red markings around, which does save us time at the end of the puzzle for sure. But I am obviously not, with my half an hour solve, obviously not trying to be a speed demon here. 4 and 9. Just trying to enjoy the logic of the puzzle, where we find it. Let's see, 1, 7, 9. Okay, the 7's down here. This is the 1 and the 9 because of that 9 there. Okay, we are finishing all these 1/8s finally. And the last two digits are 1 and 3. And there we go. All right, yes, long solve, I understand. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm trying not to make every single one of these half an hour long solves because I value your time. But hopefully that this one, I feel like this puzzle was hard enough and hit so many of the different strategies that I like to talk about that we just ended up talking about all of them. So this might be a good, very instructive video for someone to understand a lot of the different techniques that you can discover in a Sudoku like this. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.